Good morning. And this is Lee, Traveling Expats, and I've been able to introduce you to quite a lot of different foods on our travels, some interesting stuff, most of it very delicious, most of it very appealing. But what I'm going to introduce you to today may be a shock to some of you, especially our American friends and American viewers, because in America, in the United States particularly, we don't eat raw meat. We don't eat uncooked meat, and we don't really eat a lot of rare meat, to be honest with you. We eat some rare steak and occasionally a rare hamburger that may be a little pink inside, but we really don't eat raw meat, chicken, and especially pork. I mean, that's the thing my entire life that I've been warned about. You know, never eat raw pork, never eat uncooked pork, and be careful if you're preparing pork in the kitchen to keep it away from other foods. You know, always wash your hands, always wash the stuff you're preparing it with, because you don't want to spread the germs and stuff that are in raw pork to your other food. So that is completely forbidden, right? That is absolutely forbidden, no raw pork. Well, here in Germany, a standard food, especially around this time of day in mid-morning, what they call Brotzeit, a very standard food is actually what they call Mettbrötchen, which is raw pork. Raw pork served on a piece of bread, oftentimes with a lot of onions chopped up on top. And now, so it's ground pork. It looks, it's like ground meat. It looks like sausage that's just smeared across a bread, much like beef tartare. As most people are familiar with beef tartare from French, but here in Germany we have pork tartare, if you will. I've heard it referred to as the German sushi, actually. So, now some things about this. You can't just go grab a bratwurst and chop it up and put it on a piece of bread, because even the Germans will tell you that that's very dangerous. So it has to come from a butcher, and it can't be over a day old. It has to be very fresh. It has to be very freshly butchered meat, freshly ground and prepared that day. It's something you don't want to keep overnight, right? So I've had it at parties. The first time I ever saw it, we went to our neighbor's house. She had a birthday party, and she had some Mett, some ground pork out on like little sliced up baguettes. My daughter, who was about, I guess, 10 years old at the time and didn't know what it was, she loved it. She didn't know what it was. She didn't know what she was eating, but she grabbed it and started eating it, and she ate a whole bunch of it. I tried it. I ate it. Honestly, it's not something I really crave. I don't really find it that delicious, but it's not that bad, really. I mean, it's just, I think a lot of it is the thought of what you're eating that kind of bothers Americans. Now, when I taught English as a second language, I taught English as a second language to the German army, and the soldiers loved to eat it. Every time we would have a breakfast or any sort of event like that, they would love to bring a huge tray of Mettbrötchen to share. I think it kind of stinks, so I didn't like it in the classroom. I told them we'd had to go somewhere else, because especially get a whole bunch of it in like a stale classroom of a bunch of people, it really kind of has an odor. And that may actually be more the onions than it is actually the meat, to be honest with you, because it's a lot of onions. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to the delicious treat of Mettbrötchen here in Germany. So, ta-da! There you go. Look at all these onions. And so we just bought this, and I've got a good, delicious cup of German coffee. That's good. All right. So, Mettbrötchen, here you go. Guten Appetit. It really doesn't have a lot of taste, to be honest with you, because it hasn't been seasoned. You taste the onions more than anything. And there you go. Delicious Mettbrötchen for breakfast. Okay, so I finished my Mettbrötchen. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of it. It doesn't have, like I said, I've eaten it before, but it really doesn't have a lot of flavor. you taste the onions, far more than anything else. So, yeah, I don't really care for the texture. It's kind of mushy. And then also just the thought to me of eating a big piece of raw meat is not so appetizing. So that's always in my head. What I think would make it a lot better is if you dribbled a little bit of Maggi on there, the German sauce. It's Maggi is, I don't know, it's a German flavoring sauce, kind of similar to Worcestershire sauce maybe like soy sauce in a way, but it's a flavor enhancer. I put Maggi on a lot of stuff. I love to put it on boiled eggs in the morning. So, for my German friends out there, do you eat Mett? Do you enjoy Mettbrötchen? How do you like to eat it? Do you put onions on it? Do you put Maggi or any sort of seasoning enhancer on there? For my American friends out there, is this something you would try? Is it totally gross to you? Or would you give it a go during your travels? Because I like to have an open mind. And when I travel and go to different places, I will try things that I probably wouldn't eat at home. So what do you think? What is the verdict on Mettbrötchen? Let us know in the comments. And as always, we really appreciate you watching our channel. We appreciate all the comments, all the support, and we hope you found this interesting. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Let us know in the comments what you think about Mettbrötchen. Do you eat any other type of raw meat where you're from? And and stay tuned next time. We appreciate you being here, and we'll see you next week.